New leaks have emerged indicating Autel may be bringing out not one, but two new drones that would compete directly with the Mini 2 and the Mini SE. If you want to see photos and a video snippet, don't go away. Hey guys, Mike here and welcome back to the channel. So, for a little while now, speculation has been rife about Autel Robotics bringing out a sub 250 gram drone to compete with the DJI Mini 2. But over the last couple of days, a leak on Chinese social media seems to confirm that the Autel Evo Mini is indeed under development and would likely feature three-way obstacle avoidance. Autel hasn't really ventured into the hobby drone market before, instead targeting the prosumer and commercial space. So entry into the consumer market with this smaller drone has the potential to really put the cat amongst the pigeons. So let's dive into what we know, but make sure you stick around until the end, because if what we have here is to be believed, Autel aren't just planning to dip their toes in, they're looking to jump in boots and all, with drones to not only compete with the Mini 2, but also the Air 2S, and potentially to gazump the upcoming Mavic 3. So stick around for details on those drones too. First up, let's dive into the video, which popped up on TikTok and has since also been shared on Twitter. It comes from the Nanshan district in Shenzhen, China, a place that's home to around 80 drone manufacturers and is said to generate over $2.9 billion annually for China's economy. In the video, we see the Autel booth at an exhibition where a representative is showing off various drones to a visitor, including various iterations of the Evo 2 series, including the newly introduced Enterprise series, before the camera turns to a bunch of other smaller drones hiding in plain sight in the background. The person filming the video asks the presenter, "What are these?" before being told, "Not released yet," and then, "You can't shoot this." So either this is a genuine mistake, or it's a carefully orchestrated plant designed to look like an accidental leak. I'll leave you to draw your own conclusion as to which one you think is the most likely scenario. Next, let's have a look at the leaked images, which give us hints to the design of the drone, but not necessarily any of the specifications. Or do they? This leaked image tells us that the small new drone could come in four colours: the company's signature orange colour, a light grey, a dark grey and red. The remote controller bears resemblance to the ones that come with the Parrot Anafi or Skydio 2 drones and has that game controller look about it. And though the photo doesn't give away the drone specifications, Jasper Ellens, who first shared the news on Twitter, is positive three-direction obstacle avoidance is to be expected. And that's because there's one more leaked image that shows the drone sporting back sensors. Take a look at this picture where you can clearly see what looks like sensors on the back of the drone, and not only that, given the angle of the orange and light grey drones, you can see protrusions on the front of the drones which are highly likely to be forward sensors as well. There are clearly no upward sensors, and from these images you can't really tell if there are side sensors, but perhaps we could make the assumption that there are downward facing sensors, as they are quite common and the easiest to implement, which would give weight to Jasper's claim of three-way obstacle avoidance. Considering that obstacle avoidance is one of the few features that the Mini 2 lacks, and is one of, if not the most requested feature for a potential upgraded replacement for the Mini 2, the Mini 3, this makes perfect sense. In all likelihood, DJI will bridge this gap with the Mini 3, but at this point, the only sub 250 gram drone to offer obstacle avoidance is the Hubsan Mini Pro. But given its lackluster reviews so far, we all know it will probably be some time before that company is able to credibly challenge the likes of DJI. But unlike Hubsan, Autel has been building a track record over recent years, and if they could bring to their mini drone even a little bit of the omnidirectional high-speed obstacle avoidance technology seen in their Evo 2 drones, it would be amazing. The Evo 2 system creates real-time 3D maps of the environment as well as automatic path planning, and can recognize up to 64 subjects at once. Even having some of the capability combined with a follow me type mode, and the Evo Mini would be a super popular drone. Now, in addition to the video and pictures, we see on Jasper Ellens' Twitter post some headline specs of the small drone, although we can't confirm where these came from, so take them with a grain of salt. First up, if these are to be believed, they're running a little bit behind schedule, showing an August 2021 delivery. The sheet indicates that the drone is under that crucial 250 gram weight benchmark and that it's highly portable given its foldable design. We don't know anything about the smart flight features, but this could be along the lines of the DJI quick shots functions, or perhaps even some sort of active track or follow me function. And a battery life of 30 minutes and a range of up to 10 kilometers, which is about the same as the Mini 2. And here we also get an indication that they might be bringing out two versions. The Evo Mini, which doesn't have obstacle avoidance and could compete directly with the Mini 2 2 and the Mini SE, and the Evo Mini Plus, which does have obstacle avoidance sensors, which would also compete with the Mini 2, but also potentially keep it competitive when and if DJI bring out the Mini 3, which they're likely to release with features that are advanced from the Mini 2. We can also see that they are directly targeting the DJI Mini 2, as well as consumers, amateur photographers, and first-time drone users. Now, there's no indication of any other specifications at this stage, but in any case, to compete with the Mini 2 or Mini 3, depending on when the Autel drone is actually released, Autel will definitely need to offer 4K video or better. So the next interesting thing to understand will be the camera's design and capabilities. But what about the price of the new drones? Well, we don't know for sure, but given they're targeting the Mini 2, it's not a bad place to start. We know the Mini 2, with its $450 price tag, is a great beginner's drone that even professional content creators have in their kit. Now, with obstacle avoidance factored in, the Autel Evo Mini would likely be over $500 or maybe even over $600, but they'll want to be as competitive as possible and give people a real reason to choose the Evo Mini Plus over the Mini 2. So I'm guessing they'll keep it at the lower end of the range as possible. They might even want to surprise us and price it very close to the Mini 2 and make it even harder for people to pass it up. This would get people into the Autel ecosystem, and if they deliver a capable and reliable product, potentially keep them there for a very long time. If Autel is able to deliver in terms of image quality, ease of use, and software features, DJI will finally have a worthy competitor in the segment of the drone market. As for the name, well, the documentation we've seen indicates it'll be called the Mini and Mini Plus, but I'm not so sure. I've seen some commentators talk about this class of drone being a nano segment, but I actually think that's likely to be the name, the Evo Nano. I mean, it's a word that also means small, so there's no reason to directly copy the Mini name that DJI use. I guess we'll have to wait and see. Now, there's been lots of talk in recent months about the potential Mini 3 drone, but perhaps DJI, knowing that Autel are not far away from releasing their entry into that end of the market, are holding off to see what they bring out, so they can then make sure their Mini 3 will be competitive. That could mean the Mini 3 won't be out until next year if Autel launch this year. They certainly didn't want to do what GoPro did a couple of years back when DJI brought out the Osmo Action with a front-facing screen. And then not long after that, GoPro brought out their Hero 8 model without a front-facing screen. So lots of things to think about, but wait, there's more where that came from. From the product summaries released on Jasper Allen's Twitter post, it appears that Autel is working on a bevy of new products. The Evo 3, with 4 potential options, including a Pro model, a Zoom model, and one they call Super Sense, and all of these models have omnidirectional obstacle avoidance. And then there's the Evo Lite, targeting the Air 2S, with 2 potential variations being the Evo Lite and the Lite Plus, as well as the Evo Mini or Nano. Now, if they're actually bringing some or all of these products into the market, we are potentially in for one hell of a shake-up in the consumer drone market. As for when they're going to release the new drone or drones, well, given the images we've seen, they look like they're already mass producing them, or very close to it, given we've seen the drone in 4 colors. They certainly look like they're past the mock-up or even prototype stage. So they could be waiting to see if they get any intel around what DJI are planning. I'm sure there's some level of spying done between the 2 companies, or they could be waiting until the Consumer Electronics Show in January, which is when they've released new products in the past. I'll be keeping a close eye on this one, so make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on any of the new details. Now, all of this remains to be seen, of course, and given the ongoing global chip shortage, there's a possibility the product announcement may come much sooner than the actual worldwide shipping date. If you want more details on the chip shortage, check out the link on screen to that video, or if you want to see why I think the Mini 2 is actually preventing or at least delaying the release of the Mini 3, check out that video as well. Click on the links on screen and I'll see you over there. Cheers guys.